getting to do ministry together. So thanks for being here. And we also have Pastor Brian LIGHTSEY. Welcome. I know that your church is doing amazing things in the community, and so I wanted to ask you, what are you guys doing to reach out to local community schools?
Yeah, we do an Adopt a School program, and we adopted a local elementary school, and we do different things in there. We do a backpack program where we send food home on the weekends for the kids, the ones who are under-resourced, and make sure we put enough in there, not just for the kid, but for the whole family, so Big Brother doesn't eat the food. And so we told ourselves we're going to take an entire school, and we're going to adopt it, and we're going to own it. And so every kid in there who potentially would go home hungry now has food. That's one thing we do. Second thing we do is we actually do a literacy program where we actually go into school and read with kids and try to get them reading on their grade level. We believe that the Micah talks about, act justly, but also love mercy. And so you should be doing basically relief ministry and restoration ministry. Food is relief, but reading is restoration.
That's right.
As you help people break the cycle of poverty. And we also encourage the teachers while we're there too, in the administration, we do like lunches for them or gift cards, just try to do something nice to encourage them.
That's awesome. So how did you know about those needs? Is that something that the school communicated to you, or did you go to them?
A little bit of everything. One thing we did, a lot of churches in our community worked together, and we did a 2-year study of the greater Austin area. We talked to school officials, we talked to police and law enforcement, we talked to mayors, we talked to civic groups, social organizations, and we found the biggest problem in the greater Austin area is high school dropouts. We also discovered that the best way to prevent high school dropouts is for a kid to be reading on his grade level by the time he reaches 3rd grade. Because when you go up to 3rd grade, you're learning to read. After 3rd grade, you're reading to learn. So after 3rd grade, you have to read to do algebra or history or science. And so kids who don't learn to read by 3rd grade, they start slipping behind them. By the time you get to high school, they're so frustrated they just drop out. And so if a kid can read on the 3rd grade level by the time he reaches the end of 3rd grade, he's 4 times more likely not to drop out. It's amazing. And so we found that out, and so we started talking to schools, and actually the superintendent talked to us, and a bunch of churches came together. It's not just our church, and so we have hundreds of volunteers in our area, in our school district, working in schools. I have 2 kids I've been reading to for 3 years now, and seen a lot of change in them. And so it's really a partnership between the school, really, and the church, the faith community.
And how long do you do that from week to week? What does that time commitment look like?
Yeah, well, obviously the backpack program is pretty easy. You're going to shopping anyway, and while you're shopping, you grab all the things and put them in your basket. That's really easy. We have a lot of people in our church involved in that. A smaller group, but significant numbers involved in the literacy program, because that takes about 30 minutes a week. And it's during the school days, so people who are working can't always make that commitment, but they can do the backpack program. But you go in there and you'll spend about 30 minutes, 15 minutes per kid per week. It's not much time, but they basically read to you for around 5 minutes. You read to them about 5 minutes, and you have some 5-minute kind of check-in time. And it's amazing. It doesn't seem like much time, but really it's the bonding experience. We're the only adults who really show attention to some of these kids, and they thrive. And I've seen my kids over 3 years just really thrive, and it's amazing to see. And people are excited that they can be a part of a solution to a big problem.
It's a practical way, and I love that. What about obstacles? Were there any obstacles in that 2-year time frame beforehand, or even now, that you see the Lord helping the church to overcome?
Actually, no. Not on the school side. They've opened the doors wide open. And if there's anyone listening to this and they're thinking about doing this, I'm going to tell you something. Schools are eager to have people come in to love God with their minds. They are wanting that. They are so glad where they are. The obstacle really is on our side. It's more an internal obstacle. It's a time issue because of work schedules. We have a lot of working people, and they have a hard time doing that. But, people are creative about that. And so, frankly, besides the scheduling issue, there really are no obstacles to this.
That's great. That's such a good encouragement, I think, to people at home to know that it's doable, and that they can.
Oh, it's very doable.
That people are hungry for us to get engaged and involved. So, as far as we know, that pastors, a part of our viewership is pastors, and so we'd love for you to take a minute just to share an encouragement with pastors about this particular partnering between church and community schools in their local area.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
If you're watching this and you're a pastor, I just want to tell you to encourage you to be salt and light in your community. The world can condemn itself, but we have the unique privilege of blessing. Only Christians can bless, and you have the great chance to bless your community. And in a tangible way, one way you do that is by partnering with schools because they are the next generation. And so I encourage you guys to do that. 4 simple steps: pray about maybe where you might want to be involved. Secondly, start talking up in your church body. Check on the interest. Thirdly, assess your church body to see exactly what the resources are. You might have a bunch of students at one school. You might have teachers in your congregation who are inroads to a school. So see kind of what resources you have. And then fourthly, make the ask. Go to that school, and when you go in there, I encourage you to do this. I encourage you not to go in with an agenda. You go in as a servant. You go in to say, what do you need? We're here to help any way we can. If you say that, the door will be wide open. If you go with an agenda, if you go with some kind of motive, you might have some opposition, but no strings attached, just like Jesus did. Love people where they are. If you do that, then you will have some success.
Man, that's good.
That is
That is
awesome.
so good. Thanks for sharing that. I think the agenda piece is such a big piece that we just go to love and we let the Lord do the work, but we're there and we show up and we love. So thank you both for being here. We appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
you.
Next, we have